The Spanish arrived in what is now called Colombia in 1499. Bogota was founded in 1538. In the 16th century, the conquistadors brought slaves from Africa. There were several rebellions that demanded independence from Spain, and on July 20, 1810, Colombia gained its independence. In 1949, two political parties were formed, the Conservatives and the Liberals. The Conservatives represented the landowners and the Catholic Church, whereas the Liberals represented merchants and craftsmen. Under dictatorship rule, there was peace, but in 1948 there was a civil war between the Conservatives and the Liberals. This war is now called La Violencia. In 1953, General Gustavo Rojas Pinilla became dictator, but within 3 years he has stepped down. By 1957, the two political parties agreed to share power, and for 17 years the presidency alternated between them. In the 1960s, left-wing guerrillas began to operate. By the 1970s to the 1980s, cocaine production increased, and this led to a great deal of violence in the country. Finally, in the early 21st century, the violence began to decline in around 2002. The economy has been growing and recovered from a recession in 2009. The population in Colombia is estimated at 45 million. Colombians make up the largest minority group from South America to immigrate to the U.S. Most immigrants live in Jackson Heights and Queens. In Queens, residents call the neighborhood El Chapinerito. This refers to a middle-class suburb in Bogota, Colombia. There have been 3 waves of Colombian immigrants. The first wave began in 1945 and the last wave ended in 2008. Most of the immigrants in the first 2 waves came to the U.S. for educational and economic reasons. Many of them had professions such as accounting, nursing, and pharmaceutical positions. The recent wave of immigrants left Colombia to escape the violence and to find safety. The 3 racial groups in Colombia are indigenous, black, and white. Since these 3 groups have been coexisting together, racial classification is difficult. In 1918, their national census dropped the race category. Colombians usually refer to themselves as a mestizo nation. Colombians who are categorized as white occupy positions in the government, economy, and society. Members in this group are upper or middle class, and they emphasize racial and cultural purity. On the other hand, mestizos are considered part of the dominant white group. They have been found in all cases of class, occupation, and geographic region. Colombians who are labeled as biracially black and white, or black, have been given a difficult time moving upward in society. 75% of the population in Colombia are estimated to be Roman Catholic. Colombians of the upper class have sought to preserve pure Castellan. As for those in the middle and lower class, indigenous and African words have been adopted into their Spanish. As for Colombians in the U.S., Spanish is found in their household. Many Colombian Americans are proud of their identity, and they want their children in the U.S. to know who they are. The upper middle-class Colombians in the U.S. worry that Colombian Spanish is being influenced by English and Spanish from other Latinx groups. On the upside, in the 1980s, the Colombian dance cumbia gained popularity in the United States. The dance is intricate and composed of restricted steps that are a reminder of slaves having to dance in shackles. An important holiday is Colombian Independence Day. Colombian immigrants of the first and second wave have had higher acculturation levels than the Colombian immigrants of the third wave. Many Colombian Americans are resistant and refuse to fully assimilate, though they understand the importance of learning English. For Colombian American mothers, family get-togethers are important. Colombian parents discuss the beliefs and behaviors of their culture to their children. Other ways the ethnic Colombian youth in the U.S. learn about their culture are through ethnic festivals and celebrations, reading books, watching movies, using the internet. Groups such as the Colombian American Coalition of Florida, the Colombian International Film Festival, the Colombian American Service Association, and the Colombian American Chambers of Commerce USA are all concerned about civic engagement and advocacy and cultural initiatives for Colombian Americans. Lastly, an example of how Colombian Americans are making their mark in the U.S. is with La Plaza Colombia. On July 20, 2009, groundbreaking for La Plaza Colombia project began. La Plaza Colombia focuses on Colombian American heritage through artistic components. The plaza also provides rest areas and lush landscaping. Prominent Colombian artist Dario Posada carried out the artwork for the plaza.